I'm Vanessa Hochwald and I work in the GIZ Data Lab. So the Data Lab is an initiative by GIZ that works on innovative approaches around data science or data for development. For our work at GIZ, we work in an experimental approach. That means we usually take very small use cases where we test and experiment novel approaches based on data. And also AI lately. And we usually collaborate with a GIZ project abroad for this. And for this particular use case that we're sharing with you today, we collaborated with my colleague Anneli and her project.
Yes, so the NDC Transport Initiative for Asia is a consortium of 7 international organizations supporting countries in Asia to work on comprehensive strategies to decarbonize their transport sector. We are financed by the International Climate Initiative and are currently implementing activities in China, India, Vietnam, with additional outreach to Thailand and the Philippines. And we really appreciated this work with the Data Lab.
What we did, so the colleagues approached us and related a problem which is well known of cities all around the world. So the problem is that there is often a lack of inclusive infrastructure. But not only infrastructure, also design and policies that actually consider the needs of marginalized groups of all genders. And in this case, we focus particularly on women and girls, but also ethnic minorities, older people, and so on. So what we did was we used AI, in particular generative AI, for the visualization of what more inclusive cities could look like. And we did this all under the umbrella of data feminism, which means using data to challenge power in a nutshell. And yeah, so this is a data-based approach. And we really wanted to use this to create like real tangible visions that then could be used to trigger discussions and call decision makers, political decision makers, to action.
Yep, and the specific case where we used this was that as part of our project, we have created a network called Women on the Move, where we are facilitating exchange with women experts in the transport sector across Asia. And in May this year, we co-organized a session on building feminist cities with our colleagues from Women Mobilize Women at the Transport Forum for Asia and the Pacific in Manila. And the session was divided into 2 parts. First, a theoretical one where we discussed the concepts of what a feminist city entails. And then as a second part where we had an active walk, which is a chains walk. That is a citizen-led walking conversation named after urbanist and activist Jane Jacobs. So what we did is we had this 2-kilometer walk around the ADB headquarters in Manila, where we highlighted inclusive infrastructure or the lack thereof in different points of interest and places from the perspective of mobility and safety to reimagine the city under gender transformative aspects. And to support this, the GIZ Data Lab generated images through AI, which we then in Manila shared with our participants in the form of postcards that they could then take along the walk and note down their own inspiration and inputs on the back of them to use them later on.
And I will share now with you some of the images. How did we do this? We used a platform that's called Urbanist AI, and that offers solutions for participatory city planning. So it's a very easy to use tool, which you use via prompts. I'm sure all of you know what prompts are. And we have received several pictures, I think it was 6 or 7 pictures of different urban sites in Manila from our colleagues. And what we then did was we edited them with the help of this program. So on the left, the bigger picture, you see here the original photo of the space, and then via various prompts that went from very general prompts like make this space more inclusive to very concrete prompts like put a bench here or there, or I need more lighting in this part of the picture. We transformed them and altered them, and then sent several suggestions back to the colleagues, and they picked the one that they found most pertinent for that space. And here you can already see the AI came up with different suggestions, and one is more focusing maybe on the mobility aspect and on barrier-free access. The one on the left, the one on the upper right is more maybe a space that's also easily accessible. And on the lower right, you see a place that's child-friendly, that's also easily accessible through the pavement. You see benches for encounter. You see more lighting. You see an artwork in the background, a public toilet, and more. So these were like the focus. This was the focus we were giving. So safety, but also empowerment, encountering, child friendliness, barrier free. And some more concepts we try to include. You might see here already, for those who are urbanists among you, that the AI suggested to put pavement on the whole grass area. This, of course, from an urbanist point of view, is not very sustainable. And we will come to this in the end when we reflect on blind spots and including the right people into the process. I will show two more pictures. This is one of a tunnel. You can see here also a bench, tactile pavement, and some artworks, and also clear signage. And the same goes for this bus station, where you see also artworks and a bench and female security personnel. Now some reflections.
Yes, so we have received overall a very positive feedback by our participants, and they found these images to be helpful tools in envisioning the transformative potential of these places that we walk by. However, as this has been the first time that we have used AI in our project work, we are aware that this is the beginning of the process and that we will need to critically analyze the results produced by the AI. And we will have to include local voices and or sectoral experts to review these images generated by the AI to make sure that we can avoid blind spots. Like Vanessa has said with the urban planners, they would not remove all of the grass area, and the AI in all of these images has removed it. Nevertheless, for us, this activity with the AI was the first good case in the application in our project work, and we feel that it can be a powerful tool for advocacy and participation, especially with this created visualization that it provides. And colleagues in other projects have been using it in a workshop in Brazil. And we will also be using it in the second phase of our project in a workshop with our political partners.
That's it from our side. Thank you very much. And let's work together to create more inclusive cities and use AI for that.
Thank you very much. That was a very interesting presentation. I haven't seen any questions in the chat. So if somebody wants to come through and do that, please free to put any questions. We have 2-3 minutes. Yeah, one came. What did you do to reduce the suggestive power of the pictures is the question. And also before you respond to that, take maybe a second to think about the question. Also a lot of appreciation to the people showing appreciation in the chat. Some great feedback and some good encouragement coming through there. So keep that up, and also making sure that speakers see that good encouragement. But over to you to answer that question in 2-3 minutes before we hand over to the next session.
Thank you very much for the question. I would say since we were using the pictures as a tool for advocacy and to really engage discussion and to open up a dialogue with policymakers, we were actually relying on the suggestive power of the pictures. So it was sort of the goal we were aiming for, to really show a vision that's maybe not exactly feasible the way that we showed it, but to really spark a discussion. I hope that answers the question.
I think it does. I think there's a second question coming in. How did you decide on the AI model / application when doing this? So back to you. Again, we have 2 minutes still.
So we were, since we as a data lab work in this very experimental and test-based approach, we rely on external service providers or partners that we conduct our projects with. And Urbanist AI has been one of our partners. So we had been in touch and we knew about the solution that they were offering. So actually when Anneli approached us, we said, okay, that could fit very well for the platform Urbanist AI is using. To my knowledge, the data is fed into a language model and then back into the image generation model. So it just gets enriched on the way. But yeah, you would have to ask details on the model to the Urbanist AI platform.
Thank you. We have another question, and we have a little bit of time. Would you be able to identify the source of undesirable, oh, somebody moved it, of undesirable decisions the AI made in your database, considering the grass removal example? So a quick answer, and then if we're running out of time, I'll step in and you can respond in the chat. But we have a little time, so over to you.
I will take on that one as well. So I would say the source in this case is, as usual, the user. So it's actually really about bringing in the right people, making this a participatory process, and thus eliminating or at least minimizing blind spots to a minimum and getting the most rich and inclusive examples.
Perfect. Any final words? I know you already had final words, but after the questions, anything you want to add? Otherwise, we'll move over. But Anneli, Vanessa, any final comments? I don't see anything.
Thank you very much for having us, and lovely to hear from you. You have our contacts, and if you have any more questions, please contact us.